Hi everyone, my name is Zornitsa Lachezarova and I work as assistant professor in Sofia University, St. Kliment, Ohridski. The title of my presentation is Melancholy and Myth in the Poetry of Teodor, Trayanov and John Clare. First, I'm going to start with a few points related to melancholy and myth in Bulgarian symbolism. The first point is a state of existential contemplation, where the poets are really invested into contemplating nature within a melancholic and mythological context. The second point is individual interpretation of mythological entities, where the poets employ their own worldview to present mythological entities. And the third point is Trayanov's nymphs and their worlds. Then I'm going to refer to a quotation related to Trayanov's poetry. And it says, the folkloric mythological aspect is prominent in Trayanov's oeuvre. His mythological symbolism is closely related to his poetic nature, to the specifics of his romantic outlook. I think this is very important because it connects Trayanov's and Clare's poetry within the realm of symbolism and romanticism at the same time. Next, I'm going to refer to another quotation, which is, melancholy is visualized through the spatial code of florality. I think this is essential because many of Trayanov's images are related to nature, and nature is used as an expression of individual and personal states of mind. Then on the next slide, I'm going to refer to John Clare and melancholy, and especially the different themes of nature, night, and ruins, also ghosts and alternative worlds, and melancholic musings. I think in John Clare's poetry, nature is very important, and also he often refers to the transitions between day and night, and also decaying buildings and just the idea of ruin as another transition and maybe a melancholic contemplation. Next, I'm looking at Clare's sonnet Sudden Shower, and I have a quotation here which says, Clare's sonnet Sudden Shower figures insects as natural meteorologists, as highly receptive bodies whose movements forecast stormy weather. Black grows the southern sky betokening rain, and humming hive bees homeward hurry by. They feel the change. This is another expression of the melancholic outlook, and also I think another expression of this transition between different states. As the last line says here, they feel the change. Another reference that I have here is to, again related to John Clare and myth, is Clare's Village Minstrel. So the quotation here says, Clare's Village Minstrel reflects a strong entomological interest in links between the minuscule forms of insects and fairies. Beside figuring fairies as flying insects, Clare's poem depicts a peasant poet who moves between natural historian and mythologist. I think this is again a very important link between nature, myth, and melancholy. Again, because it's related to, in this case, to insects, but also in the way they're mythologized to resemble fairies as parts of the mythological world. So one of the poems by Trayanov I'm going to look at is called The Secret of the Struma. The translator is Peter Tempest. And I'm going to read a bit of the poem just for you to get an idea of how it goes. Swiftly is the Struma flowing, bosom chill with secret cares, mutely flowing, never showing, but the golden leaves she bears. On she flows through narrow valleys, where sad echoes cannot soar, somber summits cast stern glances, fleet-foot water nymphs and phantoms wander on the rocky shore. So again, here there's the reference to the nymphs and phantoms, which we can also relate to John Clare's outlook and perception of nature in a melancholic way. Again, here the image of the river is described with a somber tone, which encompasses the whole of the poem and creates this melancholic outlook. Then I have two more stanzas of The Secret of Strumer by Trayanov, which I'm going to read. Suddenly the swift stream falters, as if some far cry it hears. Always still the waves are halted, only from the deep springs of sorrow comes a flood of bitter tears. Is this new defeat recalling some reverse of long ago? Here the bloodshed is appalling, and for swift revenge are calling every sigh, each dying groan. Again, we have the imagery of the river, and also compared to the flood of bitter tears and the springs of sorrow, which again gives this melancholic context of the poem. Then I'm going to refer to an excerpt from a poem by Clare, which is called Solitude. Sullen art thou then to meet, when with listening pause I look round the pillar's ruined nook, glooms revealing, dim descried, ghosts companioned by thy side, where the old deformity ancient arches sweep on high, and the aisles, to light unknown, create the darkness all their own, save the moon as on we pass, splinters through the broken glass. So again here we have this state of decay that I mentioned at the beginning, the details with which the different, just the decay of the buildings is described, which is again in a natural melancholic surrounding, in this case at the backdrop of the moon. So I think in conclusion I can mention, as I mentioned, the connection between myth and the different poetic aspects of the poems that I mentioned, and also how melancholy is connected to this. I can make the conclusion that both Trayanov and Clare employ myth and melancholy to explore their poetic landscapes. By imbuing the poem's natural worlds with the sense of impending darkness, the poets offer a contemplative view of life and its existential struggles. While Clare delves into the romantic roots of pastoral spaces, Trayanov works with the controversies of the modern world and mythologizes the individual journey as symbolist reflection. Both poets seek peace in the melancholic nostalgia of the past, where myth is a collective remembrance of the unity of a world torn by uncertainty. So this is my slide with the works cited. I think a very important source is Peter Tempest's Anthology of Bulgarian Poetry, which has given voice to Bulgarian poetry within the English language, and also a few very important sources which deal with the connection between myth and melancholy within the oeuvres of the two poets. Thank you for your attention.